Hi guys and welcome. Today I'm sharing top 10 spring DIYs, so let's get started. For this DIY I am using this sign that came from Dollar Tree. Now I have used a bow from it and the feet kind of damaged the board, but I didn't want to throw it out. I wanted to still use it for something else. And then I also have these garden stakes that I just had laying around, and I will be using them as well for this little project. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to paint all of this stuff. So first I'm going to cut this to size, and then I'm going to paint it or stain it. I haven't decided yet. And then I'm going to paint this. I know I'm gonna paint this with Rust-Oleum Linen White Chalk paint, and I'm not sure if these are gonna get stained or if they're gonna get painted yet. I will make my decision shortly. So I'm going to measure out and cut them before I paint them. No point of painting all of it if I'm going to be cutting it anyways. So these are all cut to size, and now I'm going to paint this. Okay, I'll probably might need 2 coats, but we'll see once it dries. Now for the sticks, I'm gonna use my favorite wood stain color, and it is a dark walnut. I'm just using a rag and rubbing it on. So this has dried, and I'm going to glue these on, and I'm just going to use my hot glue. So that's that, and I'm going to put something in the middle here. So I had printed these 2 writings out, and I'm going to add them to my sign. And I'm also going to add some of these stickers that I had in my scrapbooking stash. I am going to use Mod Podge to glue it. I'm going to go over it just for extra protection. And now onto the back, I'm just going to attach some rope because I'm going to be hanging this outside. I need the rope to be fairly long. I might have to adjust it depending on the height, how long it hangs. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like all hung up. So here it is, all hung up outside on my lamp, and I think it looks absolutely amazing, if I say so myself. I think it looks really good. For this video, I am using this plaque, or what it was a stand for a trash, actually treasure makeover that I did back in December, and there was a mousse on top of it. Now I had used the mousse and I just kept this. I wasn't sure if I was gonna throw it out or keep it. It does have a bit of damage on it, but I'm so glad I kept it because I have come across a really neat DIY for using this for springtime. So I thought, well, it's a good thing I kept it, so I'm going to use it. So I'm gonna use this. Then I have some wood filler because I'm going to sand this down. Here, I'm not sure if you can see the damage. Sand it down, fill it with wood, and sand it down again. So I have some sandpaper for that. And then I'm going to just use Linen White by Rust-Oleum chalk paint and paint it. And then I'm going to make a little wreath to go with it, and I'll show you what goes into that wreath. So first thing I'm going to do is remove these screws. Want to remove some of this loose ends so it doesn't chip on me later. So I'm going to add some of this. Hopefully it hasn't dried out. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry completely and then I'm going to sand it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just really didn't want to have these big huge holes in it. So it had some chance to dry. So I'm going to just give it a sanding, smooth it all out. So there it is, and I'm going to give it a coat of paint. I'm going to give it a very light coat of paint because I don't want it to, I want it to look very rustic. So I'm going to let this dry. And while this is drying, I'm going to work on a wreath. So I think I'm going to give a mixture of all of these three. These came from Dollarama for $2.50. My wreath doesn't need to be very big because the plaque isn't very big. So I'm going to create a circle with this long piece, and then I'm going to use that as a base and attach all the other branches to it and just work in the circle. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this wire just to hold a couple branches in place. There we go. And now this is gonna go just right here. And I'm going to hot glue it on here once the paint has completely dried. Okay, so now that it had a little bit of time to dry, I'm just gonna rough out the edges. give it a once over with the sand. And now I had also decided that this alone is not enough, I feel. So I'm going to make almost like a little nest effect around it by adding some of this moss. So I'm just going to kind of mark it off so I know where my wreath is. And then I'm going to glue some of this on around it, just to give it a little bit more depth, I guess. Okay, and now I'm going to add my wreath to that. So I think this is such a great use of materials that you might have thrown out otherwise. All I bought were the flowers, and I bought them actually for a different project. I just knew I wasn't gonna need all of them. So I'll show you how I added it to my decor. I love the way this turned out. I think it added a little bit of touch of color to my decor. I hope you like it too. So for this project, I had picked up these birdhouses at Dollarama, and I will be making Raden-inspired birdhouses, and these were $3.50. And then I also had one of these left over from my previous decor, but no longer wish to use it, so I'm going to use that one as well. And then I am going to use this glossy ultra cover to Rust-Oleum paint. So it is very glossy, so I'm hoping it gives me that ceramic look. And I'm either going to use a Sharpie or this water-based paint in black. It has fine point. It's by Sharpie as well, and I picked it up at Dollarama as well. It does work pretty good on painted surfaces, better than Sharpie, but sometimes it's funny, so that's why I said both. And then I just need a craft knife, and I picked this one at Dollarama as well. For $2 you get a craft knife and a extra blade. I think there's only one blade here. Let's check. Yes, there's, oh no, there's like, oh wow, there's 4 blades here. And then a knife. I don't know how good it is, but it's going to be better than the one I currently have because it needs a new blade. And then I saw this and I thought, well, this will give me a knife and a blade, so I'll have 2 of them, because I always seem to lose one. I just need to make sure I don't use my blades. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cut these little tips off. Now I'm going to spray paint them. So here are the houses all dry, and now I'm going to use my marker to do the font. all done, and I'll show you how they look with my decor. For my next project, I had picked up, I'm not sure I'm going to use all of these, but I had picked up different size of foam, styrofoam balls. Like these were $1.50, as well as the bigger ones. These are from Dollarama. And then these were 2 for $1.50, so you can see the different size. And then I also picked up smaller ones, and these were $1.25. Then you need a pair of scissors, hot glue, and for sure extra hot glue sticks, and if you can, protect your fingers, because this one will I'm definitely going to burn my fingers. Then I picked up the jute cord for $4 at Dollarama, green moss as well from Dollarama, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to use this, but I have some burlap, just little pieces of it. I might use it, I might not, we'll see. So that's what you need. So I'm going to preheat the glue gun and open up all of these, the ones that I think I'm gonna use. I'm going to empty up the moss into here just so to control the mess. So I'm going to use my medium size ball first. I'm just going to move all the stuff out of my way. And I'm just going to put tons of hot glue. You have a moss ball. And then the next one, so I'm gonna cover a couple small ones with that as well. And then the next one, I am going to use this rope. I'm going to put some hot glue right in the middle. Then I'm going to start and just do little dabs. So here it is, just few minor burns, but I survived. I think it's very pretty, but it's very time consuming. So maybe if you are strapped for time, maybe do a smaller one. I did the biggest one. Now the next one I'm gonna try and cover up with some burlap. here it is. It's not perfect, but once you trim off all the little loose ends, it does look kind of neat, and it gives just a different texture. So now I'm gonna do the same thing for a couple of the smaller ones, and then I'll show you what it looks like all on a display, what I had in mind. For this last project, I have printed these out, and I will have the free printables linked down below for you to print them out yourself. And then you need scissors or a cutting, some sort of a cutting device, some tongue depressors or large popsicle sticks, these stacking blocks that you can get at the dollar store, and then some form of a rope. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to the size that I want them. So obviously I don't want any of that on them. So now that they're cut, you're going to need a hot glue. And I'm just going to put some hot glue on there, and then on here as well, and I'm just putting a very thin layer. I'm going to repeat that on all of them. And now for the front, I'm going to use these blocks. So these are done. I'm going to show you what they look like hung up. For this DIY, I am using a pillow that I have picked up at Dollarama for $4. I am using some of these flowers that I have taken apart, as well as these ones. They have all come from Dollar Tree, and I have completely taken them apart. I have taken the flowers off, the leaves off, and the stems off. And you're gonna use a hot glue gun. First, you kind of want to design the pillow before you glue it. Don't start gluing until you know what you're doing. You also might need wire cutters. So I'm gonna cut up these into the smaller pieces. So I think that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna glue it on. This glue gun is evil. Now that those are in place, I'm going to start placing my flowers. Now I just want to put a little bit of leaves, not too many, so I think I'm going to cut them apart. And place them strategically so they kind of cover the points and things like that. So I think this is it. This is such a cute spring pillow. I mean, it's not a pillow you're gonna snuggle on, but as a decorative pillow, I think it's super pretty, and it cost me under $6. No, it actually cost me under $7, sorry, because I used two different flowers, $1.25, and a pillow was $4. The supplies that you will be needing for this DIY are a tin from a dollar store. This is actually from the Dollar Tree. Some different florals from Dollar Tree. So I will be using these lavenders. Then I have a whole bunch that were left over from last year. And some of the new ones that I picked up from Dollar Tree this year. And then I have some green leaves as fillers. You will need a good glue gun and glue sticks. And I'm also using this jute rope from Dollarama. And the floral foam to go right in there. So let's get started. So first thing that I'm gonna do is I am going to glue this rope around it. I think I have enough room for one more. I think it turned out pretty nice. Going to put that, and now I'm going to arrange flowers, cut them down, and just kind of play around with it until I achieve the desired look. done. This was super easy, very inexpensive way to add a nice little spring centerpiece to your decor. So let me show you a closer look. I just wanted to make sure that there's nothing showing through down to the bottom, that it's very full. There's different heights, different type of leaves, and I just think it turned out so pretty. And I didn't even use all of my greenery that I had, which means there might be another project on its way. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video I will be making a spring and summertime wreath that I will be putting up as part of my spring porch decor video, which I will link down below. And these are the supplies I will be using. I have 2 of these, the vine wreaths, wine. I think it's wine wreaths. Then I have garden twist ties, some glue sticks, glue gun, scissors, and lots of greenery. So I'm going to get started, and I will show you my steps. finished product. I really like the way it turned out. I have thrifted 2 items that I will be using for this project. And the big one is this picture frame, which I have thrifted at the local thrift shop. And it was $5 and it was 75% off, which I have paid for it at 75% off, $1.25. For another thing that I had picked up is this loop, which is what is this called? It's an embroidery loop, and this one was $1.50 at the same thrift shop. Other materials that I will be using that are not part of the thrifted items is just this rope that was left over from my project from last week. I also picked up some of these cotton ropes, which are like nautical rope, and some florals, and these all came from the dollar store, Dollar Tree. This came from Dollarama. Going to be using white acrylic paint and a paintbrush and also you need hot glue. And then just some tools like I said, paintbrushes. I will need a knife, and that's about it, I think. So I'm going to get started. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to carefully remove the backing. I will save this for another project. You want to make sure that all of this is cleaned up so you can see it from the other side. Might use that cardboard for something else. Same with this glass. So what I want to do with this rope is I want to add a little bit more decor, or pretty much a decorative piece. I think I'm going to glue it right there to add a little bit more decor to the frame. So there's a bit of a lip here, so I'm just gonna add the glue to the edge of the lip, and that's where I'm going to attach this to. Just going to get rid of some of this glue that leaked through. Just think it adds a little bit more to the frame. Now I'm going to paint it. I will let this dry. It will most likely need a couple more coats, at least one more. I will move on to this. I'm just going to play around and see how I'm gonna set this up. I'm not 100% sure. So I think this turned out pretty nice. So I'm gonna let this dry. I will keep these leaves for a different project. Now I'm going to apply another coat. Going to let this dry, and I'm going to assemble it after it's dried. This has dried. And now I'm going to use this rope to attach the wreath. So there it is, all done. I will show you how it looks in my decor. Project, you will need several brushes, then you'll need a blue paint and a brown paint, and I'm just using acrylic ones from dollar store, then some rope. I will not be using all of it, I just need a little piece, a mason jar obviously, and then some baby's breath, and I had picked this one up at Dollarama and they were $1.50 a stem. So this is what a stem looks like. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I am going to paint this whole mason jar with the blue paint. So this is the first coat. It will obviously need several coats, so I'm gonna let that dry. So this had about 3 coats, and I'm going to do some speckling with my brown paint. So it gave me like a speckled look. Kind of going for the robin's egg. And now for the top, I'm going to put my jute twine around it. So this is what it looks like now. And then I'm going to add my baby breath flowers. think that looks really nice, and I'll show you what it looks like in my decor. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell. Thank you all so much for watching.